Guys, today we're going to be reading Act 3, Scene 1. And let me share my screen. It's getting juicy. So, Act 3, Scene 1. The scene is in the part of the woods where Titania lays sleeping. The clowns, Quince, Snug, Bottom, Flute, and Snout, and Starveling enter. So the men that are going to practice the play, they're coming in to practice in the woods. So this is the next night, but Titania happens to be sleeping there. So that's going to be a wee bit of a problem because remember, Oberon already put the love spell in her eyes. We are all met. And here's a place for our rehearsal. This green plot shall be our stage. We will do it in action as we will before the Duke. There are two hard things. First, how to make moonlight into a room, for you know Pyramus and Thisbe meet by moonlight. So the play that they're playing with the most lamentable comedy and most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe reminds me a lot of Romeo and Juliet. And at least not the comedy part, but at least the romance part. And so remember, they're playing it at night, number one. So he's saying there's two hard things. Someone's gonna have to play moonshine or the moon, and then there's gonna have to be a wall. So when we get to the chink in the wall, that's a hole in the wall. And he's basically saying that someone's gonna have to play the wall, make a hole, so that Pyramus and Thisbe can talk on either side because their families don't want them, they're sneaking around, their families don't want them dating. Bottom says, one must come in with a lantern and say he comes in the person of moonshine. And Quinn says, then there's another thing, we must have a wall in the room. Pyramus and Thisbe says, the story did talk through the chink of a wall, and that's the hole. So Bottom says, some man or other must be wall, and let him have some plaster about him. Let him hold his fingers thus, and through the crack shall Pyramus and Thisbe whisper. So they're going to whisper like this. But remember, they didn't have props and stuff, so people had to play the props too. Quentin says, then all is well. Come sit, every mother's son, and rehearse your parts. Pyramus, you begin. When you have spoken your speech, enter into the thicket of the bushes. So Puck enters, invisible to the clowns. Now, Puck is coming because who's sleeping in the woods right next to them, but they can't see her because she's invisible? Titania, yes. What clownish fools are these, so near where the fairy queen sleeps? What? Do they rehearse a play? Be a listener and an actor too, perhaps. So remember, Puck's a little mischievous, and so he is saying, oh, I'm going to listen to this play, and I might join in. So, Quint, speak, Pyramus, Thisbe, come forth. So then Pyramus, who is Bottom's part, is now speaking. Thisbe, the flowers of odious savor sweet. So he's saying, oh, the flowers smell so good. And Quint says, yes, they smell great. Pyramus, odor savor sweet. So hath thy breath, my dearest Thisbe dear, but hark, a voice, stay thou, but here a while, and by I will to thee appear. So Pyramus is talking to Thisbe and saying, oh, the flowers smell so good. Oh no, I hear someone coming, because they're not supposed to be seeing each other. You stay here and I'll be right back. And he goes and hides. So then that's when Pyramus, which is Bottom, goes and exits into the bushes. And Puck, who is a stranger Pyramus than I have ever seen. So Puck follows Bottom into the bushes. And Thisbe, my most radiant Pyramus, the most lovely white of hue, oh, as true as horse, but yet would never tire. So Thisbe says, oh, yes, I love you and I'll wait for you. I'll never get tired of waiting for you. Now, this is Bottom's cue to re-enter, but while he has been waiting in the bushes, Puck has changed his head to the head of a donkey. We replaced that ASS word with donkey, and it says Puck and Bottom enter. Now, the reason why they use the word ASS is because back then in the 1500s, it was not a bad word. That's what they called a donkey. But because we have changed it into a bad word, that is why we're replacing it. But Puck had to do something because Titania was sleeping and the men were being so loud. There was no vile animal around for Oberon's spell to work. So Puck had to change Bottom part head of a donkey and the rest of him's a man. And then he's going to chase the other men away. So they're out of the way and it's Titania awakens to Bottom. So Pyramus, who is playing Bottom's playing Pyramus, If I were fair, Thisbe, I were only thine. So he's re-entered. And this picture shows you, it's a foreshadow showing you, obviously Titania did wake up and she fell in love with good old Bottom there with the head of the donkey. His friends take one look at him and are horrified. He, however, doesn't know what's happening. Oh, monster, so strange. We are haunted. Pray, friends, fly, help. And they all exit, leaving a bewildered Bottom. So bewildered means confused. Like, Bottom doesn't know his head's a donkey. So all of his friends just ran off. We're obviously scared of him, but he has no idea why. And then Puck follows them, unseen and unheard, keeping them away from Bottom and Titania, so that Titania wakes up to him and falls in love. I'll follow you, I'll lead you a merry round through bogs, through bush, through briar. And Puck exits. I see their mischief. This is to make a donkey of me, to frighten me. But I will not stir from this place. I will walk up and down here and sing. Then they shall hear me and see I am not afraid. He begins to sing in a loud voice like Bottom does. The song is so loud that it wakens Titania sleeping nearby. She is caught by the magic spell of the flower juice Oberon has put on her eyelids. Bottom is her new love. What angel wakes me from my flowery bed? I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again. My ear is thrilled by thy voice. My eye is enthralled by thy shape. The force of thy virtue doth move me. On the first view to say, to swear, I love you. So Titania wakes up, sees Bottom, part donkey, part man, and says, oh, I love you and I love your voice. You're such a great singer. Sing again. And then she says, and I love the way you look. I love you so much. I love you. And Bottom sees that she's a fairy and it thinks it's weird that there's fairies. And he says, methinks, mistress, you should have a little reason for that. And yet, to say the truth, reason and love keep company, little company together nowadays. And so he's like, oh, like, first of all, like a fairy, they exist. And then he's like, yeah, I don't know why you would love me. Titania says, thou art as wise as thou art beautiful. So she's saying, you're much more beautiful than you are smart, because of course, why wouldn't I love you? Not so, I am afraid. But if I have wit enough to get out of this wood, I have enough to serve me. So he's saying, because you are frightening me, I didn't know about fairies. Do not desire to go out of this wood. And he can see her that she's a fairy because he's part animal. So that animal part allows him to see the fairy. Do not desire to go out of this wood. Thou shalt remain here, whether thou wilt or not. I do love thee, therefore go with me. I'll give you 3 fairies to attend on thee. So she calls her fairies to come forth. Peace blossom, cobweb, moth, and mustard seed. The 4 fairies enter. Be kind and courteous to this gentleman. Nod to him, elves, and serve him well. So Titania is saying, please don't leave me. I love you. My 4 fairies take care of you. And then she asks her fairies to take care of him. And Titania exits with Bottom and the fairy. So he decides to stay with her. All right, so I'm going to stop it here because we are going to begin Act 3, Scene 2 today. You do need to keep reading this, but actually I'll just keep going. Act 3, Scene 2. The scene is another part of the wood. Oberon enters. I wonder if Titania be awakened. Then what was the next came in her eye, which she must love to foolishness. So Oberon's saying, I wonder if Titania was awakened. And what animal awoke her and what love she is, who she is in love with now. And here comes good old Puck. Here comes my messenger now. How now, Puck? So he's saying, how are you, Puck? And Puck says, my mistress is in love with a monster. Near to her flowery bed, a crew of fools, which were the men performing the play, were met together to rehearse a play for great Theseus's wedding revelries. That's like his wedding party. The biggest clown of them all, who represented Pyramus in their play, which is Bottom, left the scene and entered the bushes. There did he fix upon him and turned his head into a donkey. When his fellow clowns did see him, they did fly from the sight of him. They got scared and went screaming. I led them on this distracted fear and left sweet Pyramus transformed there in that moment. So it came to pass, Titania waked and straightway loved a donkey. This is better than I could have ever planned. But thou means you, So he's saying, but have you yet sprinkled the Athenians' eyes with the love juice, as I did bid thee? So remember when he asked him to put the love spell in Demetrius' eyes, he says, yes, I did that. And Puck says, that is finished too. I took him sleeping with the Athenian woman by his side, that when he waked, she must be seen. So Demetrius and Hermia enter, but they cannot see Oberon and Puck standing there, because remember, they're fairies and this is nighttime. This is the same Athenian. Oh, Puck says, this is the same woman, but this is not the man. So right now, at this point, they realize that Puck put the love spell in the wrong Athenian man's eyes. So he was supposed to put it in Demetrius's eyes, and he put it in Lysander's instead. If thou hast slain Lysander in his sleep, plunge in thy dagger and kill me too. The sun was not so true as he to me. So Hermia and Demetrius have walked in. And remember, when Hermia last was in the play, she had just woken up from her sleep, and it's when Lysander and her had just run away and they went to bed so they could run away in the morning. And when she woke up, she realized that Lysander was gone and that she had had a terrible dream about a snake eating her heart and Lysander watching and laughing. Well, at this point, and then she said, oh, let me find Lysander. If I can't find him right now, then he is dead. So she has found Demetrius, and she's asking Demetrius if Demetrius killed him. And she's saying, oh, if you killed Lysander, then I want you to kill me too. So Demetrius says, I am not guilty of Lysander's death, nor is he dead for all that I know. So he's saying, I don't know if he's dead, but I don't think he is. I didn't do it if he is. And Hermia says, oh, I pray thee, tell me that he is well. Demetrius says, and if I could, what should I get in return? So Hermia is saying, well, then if he's not dead, where is he? Is he okay? And Demetrius is saying, well, if I did know, what would you give me in return? And Hermia says, a gift never to see me more, and from thy hated presence part I so. See me no more, whether he be dead or no. Excuse me. So Hermia exits, and she's saying a gift of never to see me again because I hate you. Demetrius says, there is no following her in this fierce mood. I will remain here for a while. So Demetrius lies down and falls asleep. Oberon sees at once that Puck has made a mistake. He has put the love juice on the islands of the wrong man. To Oberon, what hast thou done? Hast thou laid the love juice on some true love's sight? About the wood go swifter than the wind, and look to find Helena of Athens. By some illusion, see thou, bring her here. So Puck exits to find Helena, and Oberon goes to the sleeping Demetrius and rubs the magic juice in Demetrius's eyes so that he will then fall in love with Helena. Puck re-enters, and he says, Captain of our fairy band, Helena is here at hand, and the youth mistook by me, pleading for a lover's fee. Lord, what fools these mortals be. So Puck is saying, Captain of our fairy band, like the head of our fairies, here's Helena at hand. I brought her to you, and now you can make the love spell work for these foolish kids. Oberon says, stand aside. The noise they make will cause Demetrius to awake. So Puck then says, then we'll two at once woo one. That must needs to be sport alone. So two at once woo one means that, you know, the two men, Lysander and Demetrius, will now love Helena instead of Hermia. Lysander and Helena enter arguing. Helena still believes that he is making fun of her, that he is pretending to love her to scorn her. Because remember, last we saw them, Helena, why would Lysander love Helena? So she thinks he's making fun of her. Why should you think that I should woo and scorn? Scorn and derision never come in tears. Look, when I vow, I weep. And he's basically saying, why do you think I'm making fun of you, Helena? I love you. You're making me cry. These vows are Hermia's. Will you give her over? I had no judgment when I swore to her. So he's saying, I was not thinking when I said I loved her, nor none in my mind. Now you give her over. So she's saying, I don't think you're thinking now either. The arguing has awakened Demetrius. He sees Helena and falls under the spell. Instantly, he loves Helena. So now Lysander loves Helena. Demetrius loves Helena. Hermia loves Lysander. and Helena loves Demetrius, but the love spell is on both of the two guys. Oh, Helena, goddess, nymph, perfect divine, to what, my love, shall I compare thine eyes? Oh, let me kiss this princess of pure white, this seal of bliss. So Demetrius is saying, oh, Helena, I love you. And then Helena says, oh, spite, oh, heck, I see you all bent on using me for your merriment. If you were gentlemen, you would not do this injury. So now she thinks Demetrius has joined in with Lysander, making fun of her, and they're both doing it, but they're really not. They really are in love. It's just a love spell. You are unkind, Demetrius, for you love Hermia, and here with all goodwill, with all my heart, I yield Hermia's love to you. It is Helena here that I do love, and will do till my death. So Lysander is saying, Demetrius, you love Hermia, so you may have Hermia. I won Helena now. And Demetrius says, Lysander, keep thy Hermia. If ever I loved her, all that love is gone. My heart has returned to Helena, there to remain. Look, yonder comes thy love, Hermia. And then you see them all arguing. This is Demetrius. The one on the right is Demetrius with the beard. The one on the left is Lysander. And then notice the one in the front is Helena. The one behind is Hermia. And notice that Hermia is a little bit shorter than Helena. And you'll see why I'm saying to notice that in a minute. So Hermia enters. She had heard Lysander speaking and followed the sound of his voice. So Hermia speaks to Lysander. Why unkindly didst thou leave me so? So she's saying, why do you leave me all alone in the woods? And Lysander says, why should I stay when love did press me to go? And he says, well, why would I stay with you when I love Helena? What love could press Lysander from my side? And Lysander's love for the fair Helena. Why seekest thou me? Could you not see the hate I bear thee made me leave thee so? It cannot be. Lo, Hermia is part of this plot. Hermia, most ungrateful maid. Oh, is all forgot. All school days, friendship. And will you tear our childhood love apart to join with men in scorning your poor friend? So Helena's like, Hermia, so now you're joining the guys in saying that, that they love me. And Hermia's like, what? Lysander loved me. Why does he love you? So no one has any clue what's going on. Hermia says, I was amazed at your passionate words. I scorn you not. It seems that you scorn me. So Hermia is saying, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm still Hermia. And before I went to bed, Lysander loved me, and now he loves Demetrius. I haven't done anything to you, Helena. Have you not set Lysander in scorn to follow me and praise my eyes and face, and made your other love Demetrius to call me goddess and nymph, divine and rare? Why else speaks he this way to her he hates? And why else does Lysander deny his love for you? So Helena's saying, well, if you're not a part of this, why are they saying this? Why do they both love me? And so she starts to leave, but Lysander stops her. Stay, gentle Helena, my love, my life, my soul, fair Helena. So Hermia is like, sweet, do not scorn her. And he's just ignoring Hermia, and he says, Helena, I love you, I love you. Demetrius, I say I love thee more than he can do. So Demetrius is like, no, I love you more, Helena. And Lysander, Hermia says, Lysander, what changes this, sweet love? So she's like, why are you saying you love Helena? And then Lysander says, thy love? Oh, hated medicine, oh, hated poison, away. I don't love you. Hermia, I hate you. Hermia says, hated, oh me? Why, my love? Am I not Hermia? Are you not Lysander? Lysander says, and I never desire to see thee more. I do hate thee and love Helena. And so Lysander says, yes, and I never want to see you again. I love Helena, and I hate you. So Hermia then speaks to Helena. You thief of love, what have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him? So she's calling, Hermia is calling Helena a thief for stealing Lysander. And then to Lysander, Hermia is speaking now to Lysander and Demetrius. Now I see that she has compared our size. She hath urged her height, her tall form. So she has no other reason, Hermia has no other reason to think that the reason why both men like Helena is because she is taller than Hermia. And then she speaks back to Helena. Are you grown so high in my love's eyes? Because I am so small and so low. How low am I, though a painted maypole? How low am I? I am not yet so low that my nails cannot reach unto thine eyes to scratch them out. So she's saying, you might be taller than me, and that might be why they like you, but I can still reach your eyes and scratch them out. Lysander, speaking to Hermia, get you gone, dwarf. Demetrius, follow me, if you thou darest, and we will see who has the right to love of the fair Helena. So Lysander saying, now he's making fun of her for her small size and saying, leave, because you're so small. Yes, that's why we hate you. And then telling Demetrius, come follow me. We are going to have a sword fight and see who wins. The winner will get to love fair Helena. So Lysander and Demetrius exit to fight for the love of Helena. Helena starts to leave, but Hermia stops her. Nay, do not leave. This quail is all your fault. And Helena says, I will no longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands may be quicker for our fray. My legs are longer, though, to run away. So Helena used the fact that she's taller than Hermia and said, my legs are runner, so you can't catch me. So Helena turns and runs out with Hermia close behind her. Oberon then says, Puck, did you commit this mischief willfully? So he's saying, did you do this on purpose? And Puck says, believe me, O king, a mistake. Did you not tell me I should know the man by the Athenian clothes he had on? He says, oh, yes. He should have used the names, right? He knows their names. He should have said Demetrius and Helena. Well, thou seest these lovers seek a place to fight. Therefore, Puck, and cover the night with a black fog from each other. See that there leadeth them away till exhausted they fall asleep. Then crush this herb into Lysander's eyes. When next he wakes, this whole affair shall seem a dream, the magic spell broken. He doesn't have to put the flower juice, Cupid's flower juice, in Lysander's eyes because he truly loves Hermia. He just needs to reverse Puck and the Cupid's love spell. So he's saying, put them all asleep, let them all fall asleep, and it will all be a dream. That's why I think you can see the book is called Midsummer Night's Dream, because they all go into a dream. And then he puts the spell, reverses it in Lysander's eyes. So Lysander will now love Hermia, but who will love Helena? Ah, yes, Demetrius. So then it will be exactly how it needs to be. Oberon exits. Puck goes about his master's business. One by one, he leads Demetrius and Lysander on a chase through the black woods until they fall asleep. Helena enters. She does not see the two men sleeping on the ground. A weary night, a long and tedious night. That just means she's super tired. She too falls asleep as Puck watches on because he's making them fall asleep. He looks at the three mortals sleeping. Only three? Come one more. Two of both kinds makes up four. So he's saying only three of the kids. One more is needed, which is Hermia. Two of both kinds, two boys and two girls, will make up four. And that's what he needs to reverse everything. Hermia enters. She has been wandering through the woods. My legs can't keep no pace with my desires. Here will I rest me till the break of day. So none of them noticed each other. They all fall asleep. And then he puts them in a spell, thinking it's a dream. And now when they wake up, Lysander, the love spell will be reversed. On the ground, sleep sound. I'll apply to your eye. Gentle lover remedy. So Puck puts the remedy in Lysander's eyes, and when they wake up, everybody, Helena and Demetrius will love each other because of Cupid's spell, and Hermia and Lysander will love each other because of true love. Now, what do you think is going to happen when Demetrius now goes back to Aegeus and says, I don't want to marry Hermia anymore because I'm in love with Helena? What do you think is going to happen? Oh, you may be right. We'll have to see if that Athenian law will still follow or if it will be deleted. Okay, let me stop sharing. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow.